What's going on, guys? Chad back with you here on the RC Models and More channel. All things DJI, FPV, models. Try to upload videos daily. If you have any questions, comments, please leave them below. Let's get to this video. So let's talk about updates. App updates, firmware updates. The hate just comes out for DJI when these updates happen. And I understand some people's frustration, but then again, sometimes I don't, because I've in this other FPV world where there's constant firmware updates, and usually they're beneficial features that are added, so you want to update anyway to get the latest and greatest tools at your disposal. But when you comb through these DJI forums, especially, there's common themes that come up. The biggest one is, people just aren't aware of what's going on in the DJI world. I've seen it time and time again in a couple Facebook groups just this weekend of people yapping and complaining about the DJI Go app and stuff, forcing them to do an update, which you're not forced. You can always bypass it. While they're shooting a wedding, okay? If you're a commercial person or something like that, you need to be a little bit more aware of what you're doing. DJI does not release updates on the weekends. Typically, I don't think they ever have. They usually release them during the week. I mean, it's kind of your responsibility to yourself and your client to keep on top of this stuff and have your craft updated and running properly and everything before you show up to the scene. I mean, showing up to the scene and having an update and then yelling on the group that, it's DJI's fault and tell that to the client, and then it starts a huge hate thing. But, it's our responsibility as pilots and commercial people to stay on top of what's going on. I mean, that's why I make this channel, is to try to help people out and stay informed who don't have the time to go onto Facebook groups and stuff like that and see what problems people are having. So I guess the biggest thing to rule out a lot of problems is just be aware. Do your update at home when you have Wi-Fi and your computer at your disposal. So that way, if you have a problem doing it the easy way through the app, then you can always hook up to the PC or your Mac and use the DJI Assistant 2 application to roll back the firmware or reinstall the newest firmware and get everything done. Most people should have done this process at least once or twice, unless you're a brand new Mavic or Phantom 4 owner or something like that. So you need to know, you should be doing some research that, things are going to change. You're going to have to turn multiple flight modes on. You're going to have to take each battery in and out and restart the craft and update the firmware in each battery. Even though it's not on the change log, even though sometimes it is, it's just kind of buried. You just gotta kind of expect things like that. A lot of people, this time around with the update, it seems like people that have been updating through the application have kind of gotten stuck at like 99 or 100% again, and the update won't go ahead and finish. I mean, if your Mavic is on for longer, or Phantom is longer than on for 15 or 20 minutes, and it's just stuck there, I mean, you might as well turn it off and start again. You could leave it on till the cows come home, and it's not going to finish the update. Something did not happen correctly. See a lot of people talking about the battery update failing this time, and what that looks like is you'll basically get the two innermost battery lights will be on, and that means that the battery didn't install correctly. And there's a couple ways to fix it. Basically what you can do is you can hold the battery button down for at least 30 seconds to totally reset the smart circuitry, or you can stick that battery in your Mavic and reload the firmware again. I know it's inconvenient, but it's a way to fix your battery. I myself have also updated the goggles with this update, and you can update the goggles either with the Assistant V2 like I did, or it actually will update wirelessly as well. So if you turn your goggles on at the same time while you're doing your updates, it will actually, as it sends the information to the RC will actually forward that information on to the goggles and update the firmware on the goggles too. So that's really going to do it for this video. It's real quick, just a couple simple things and just more of a rant. You know, most of my subscribers seem to be very, very familiar with what's going on out there in the world when it comes to the updates and everything. And I appreciate that you still come and watch my channel for my blow-by-blow things to see if I have any issues with the updates. And if I did, then we would kind of work them out and problem solving like I did with a couple of my other videos back when the Mavic first came out. But everything's been pretty smooth sailing the past 2 or 3 updates since I got the new Mavic number 2 a couple months ago. Everything's went fine with that. Everything's went fine with the goggles. And you know, maybe I'm lucky. I do know that quality control issues do exist, and some people are just unlucky. I've been on that side of this hobby as well, and sometimes we just don't have another choice but to send our aircrafts off to get them repaired or replaced due to all the things that are going on inside there. I mean, these are very, very high-end pieces of electronics. They may only cost $1,000, but just imagine the amount of technology that's crammed inside there. It's just amazing to think. And then, you know, you look at the Spark, how much technology is crammed inside to that little thing, and the fact that it's GPS and that it'll sit totally still and fly almost a mile away, and it's the size of your smartphone. Wow, it's good times. So take a breath, try to relax, stay on top of what's going on in the world, especially if you're a 107 and you're doing commercial work. That's part of the responsibility of being the remote pilot in command. We need to stay aware of what is going on with our aircraft. We need to do these updates. We need to test. You just can't show up on a set and expect everything to work and then blame it on DJI when you're the one that needs to be calling the ball. We'll see you guys later.